There is no such thing as a safe house. There are only unknown coordinates, places that haven't been burned yet. The syndicate taught me how to build walls, how to fortify structures, and how to lock down a perimeter. But they also taught me that every wall has a frequency that can shatter it. 3 days ago, Vance struck us. He didn't use a bullet. He used information. He exposed my sister, Lila. He put a target on the only person in this world who connects me to my humanity. I didn't ask for permission, and I didn't file a transfer request. I initiated Protocol Zero, a ghost protocol I developed 3 years ago for this exact scenario. The men moving Lila weren't syndicate. They didn't wear the Ironwood pin. They were ghosts from my past life, men who operate in the gray zones of private military contracting, dealing in cash and silence with no paper trails. As the rain hammered the roof of the transport vehicle, I spoke into a burner phone, my voice low. The mercenaries confirmed the route was clean, but I told them to check it again. Vance has eyes in the sky. If they saw a drone, if they saw a shadow they didn't like, they were to go dark. The destination was a decommissioned hunting lodge in the Bitterroot Range of Montana. From a satellite view, it looks like rotting timber and moss, but underneath, it is a reinforced bunker with its own power grid and a class A medical bay. I funneled the money there through 20 shell companies over 5 years. It is the only place on Earth Elias Thorne doesn't know about. Or at least I pray he doesn't. For 36 hours, I was a ghost in my own city, existing in the spaces between seconds. Every hour the phone didn't ring felt like a fresh incision in my chest. I sat in a safe room in the docks district, staring at a burner phone, waiting for 2 words. Audrey was gone during this time. She had ghosted me. It was a tactical distance. She knew what I was doing, and she knew that if she was involved, it would implicate her in my rogue action. It was the smartest play, but it left a bitter taste. We are partners, supposedly. But when the blood is in the water, the sharks swim alone. Then, the vibration came a sharp, digital chirp that sounded like a cannon shot in the silence. The screen lit up, nest secure. The air rushed back into the room. Lila was safe. The defense was over. Now the offense could begin. Vance pulled the trigger, yes, but he didn't load the gun. Elias Thorne, the man I swore to protect, the man who built this empire, he handed Vance the ammunition. He sacrificed my sister to teach his daughter a lesson in ruthlessness. He wanted a weapon. He was about to find out that weapons don't have loyalties. They just have targets. I returned to Ironwood Command, the building towering over the city like a black obelisk designed to intimidate. Tonight, however, it felt like a tomb. I bypassed the main security desk, where the guards nodded at me with fear and respect in equal measure. They didn't know I was there to cut the head off the snake. I took the private elevator to the penthouse level, Elias's sanctuary. The air gets thinner up there, the hum of the city disappearing, replaced by the recycled, scrubbed air of the filtration systems. The penthouse is a museum of a life spent crushing others, filled with rare art, first edition books, and the smell of old leather and expensive scotch. It was quiet, too quiet. I walked down the main hallway, my footsteps on the marble the only sound. I checked my weapon, a Sig Sauer P226, a gift from Elias himself when I made chief operator. A tool for a craftsman, he had called it. The irony wasn't lost on me. I reached the heavy mahogany library doors and didn't knock. Elias was there, sitting in his wing-back chair, facing the panoramic window that overlooks the burning city. The financial tickers on the wall screen were bleeding red. The Argent group was collapsing. He didn't turn around when I entered. "You're lighter on your feet than you used to be, Caleb," he said, his voice raspy but calm. "Or maybe I'm just going deaf." I told him simply that she was safe. He took a sip of his drink, the ice clinking against the glass. "I never doubted you," he mused. "I expected you to be capable. That's why I hired you. That's why I groomed you." He turned the chair around slowly, the mechanical whir echoing in the room. "Lila is the reason you are loyal to the syndicate. Not the money, not the contract, not even Audrey. It's the girl. That is powerful motivation. You should appreciate the leverage I gave you to test that motivation." My rage was trembling beneath the surface as I stepped closer. "You used my sister as bait," I spat. "You fed her file to Vance. You let a wolf into the fold just to play a game against your own daughter." Elias scoffed at the word game. He gestured to the news ticker. "The Argent Group is in freefall. Their stock is down 40%. Their board is in panic. We are buying their assets for pennies on the dollar." When I asked him at what cost, he dismissed it as the question of a laborer, not a leader. "Audrey was hesitating," he explained coldly. "She has a fatal flaw, Caleb. She trusts too easily. She believes in partnerships. She thinks she can run a criminal empire with a moral compass. It's adorable, but it's suicidal." "So you broke her," I said. "I woke her up," he retorted, standing up and tapping his cane on the floor. "I gave Vance the file to show her what real, total warfare looks like. It forced her hand. It forced your hand. You stopped playing defense and you crushed Vance. My plan worked. The syndicate is stronger tonight than it was yesterday. The syndicate is a machine, Caleb. It runs on blood and calculation. If you can't make the hard choices, if you can't sacrifice a pawn to save the queen, the machine dies. And if the machine dies, we all die." Audrey needed a reminder that sentiment is a slow executioner. The gun was in my hand before I made the conscious decision to draw it. The metal was cold, the weight perfect. I aimed for the center of his chest. "Your lessons are over, Elias," I told him. "You compromised the operational security of the only thing I care about. You are no longer the asset. You are the liability." He didn't flinch. He simply spread his arms wide. "Ah, the blade turns on the master," he mocked. "Go on then, Chief Operator. Do your duty. Pull the trigger. End the era. But you know what happens next, don't you? You kill me, and you break Audrey. She needs the political cover I provide. She needs the legitimacy of the Thorne name to keep the board of directors from eating her alive. I am the handle, Caleb. She is the face. You are the blade. The blade is nothing without the handle." Just then the library doors slid open with a pneumatic hiss, and the rapid, heavy footsteps of tactical boots filled the room. "Put the gun down, Caleb," Audrey commanded. I didn't look away from Elias, but I could feel her presence. She was flanked by 2 of my own men's security detail I'd trained, but they weren't looking at me. They were looking at her. "He sold us out, Audrey," I argued, keeping the gun leveled. "He gave Vance the file. He's the leak. As long as he breathes, we are vulnerable." Audrey's voice was steady as she moved closer. "I know," she said. "Then let me finish it," I pleaded. "This is the only way to ensure he doesn't do it again." "No," Audrey said. stepping into the line of fire, blocking my view of Elias. You won't kill him, not because he doesn't deserve it, but because I won't let you carry that weight for me. If anyone is going to end this, I will. Elias began to clap slowly. There it is, the purge, the final lesson. You are a disappointingly predictable child, Audrey. I expected more creativity. Audrey silenced him with a single icy command. She turned to the security guards. Take Mr. Thorne, she ordered. Effective immediately, he is relieved of all executive and operational duties. Elias raised his voice, incredulous. You can't relieve me. I built this floor. I built the ground you're standing on. He is to be confined to the penthouse suite, Audrey continued, ignoring him. Engage the Faraday cage protocol. Disconnect the hard lines. Jam the cellular frequencies. Revoke his key cards, his biometric access, and his financial clearances. Elias's amusement vanished, replaced by seeping anger. Audrey, think about what you are doing. She looked him in the eye. I am doing exactly what you taught me, Father. I am removing the liability. You are a ghost now. A ghost in a gold cage. You will have your bourbon, your books, and your view of the city you used to own. But you will never speak to the outside world again. As the guards grabbed him, his cane clattering to the floor, Elias shouted back, You'll regret this. The wolves circle when the shepherd is gone. You don't have the stomach for the throne, girl. You'll be begging me for help within the week. The guards dragged him out, the doors slammed shut, and silence returned, heavier than the noise had been. It sucked the oxygen out of the room. Audrey stood there, staring at the closed doors. Her shoulders slumped just an inch. The mask slipped. She walked to the desk, Elias's desk, and sank into the leather chair. It looked too big for her. He won, she whispered. I holstered my gun, the click loud in the empty room. He's gone, Audrey, I said. We won. She shook her head. No, don't you see? He gave Vance the file to make me stronger, to force me to execute him. By doing this by purging him, I've proven his point. I've become exactly what he wanted me to be. I secured his legacy as the martyr for my ambition. The burden is entirely mine now. There is no one above me to blame. The threat is contained, I reminded her. Vance is crippled. We have control. She laughed bitterly. Control? Caleb, control is an illusion. It's a story we tell ourselves so we can sleep. The moment the syndicate sees a weakness, they will move. The moment the outside world realizes Elias Thorne is gone, and not just ill, but purged, the chaos will start. She stood up and walked to the window, looking out at the city lights. We just broke two of the largest players in the region. We created a massive power vacuum at the center of the largest conglomerate. You were worried about Vance swinging a blade? Wait until the vultures descend, the board, the rival cartels. The feds, they're all going to smell the blood in the water. I moved to stand beside her. Then we need to be faster. We consolidate. We lock down the assets. She turned to face me, her eyes hard. No, faster isn't enough. We need to be scarier. We need to show them that the daughter is worse than the father. To do that, you and I need to stop fighting each other. No more secrets. No more separate agendas. I asked about Lila. Lila stays hidden. Indefinitely, she said. That is the price of our alliance. I paused, looking at her, really looking at her, and realized the transformation was complete. I can live with that, I said. Good, she replied, because I just put my neck in the noose, Caleb. You are the only one I trust to hold the rope. The purge was supposed to be the end, but standing there, watching the city burn in the reflection of her eyes, I realized it was just the prologue.